Hello, my name is Sonia, and this is the Green Tech Podcast, a podcast where we speak to CEO, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders on the green energy and mobility space. In this episode, we are joined by Arun, founder of Electric Mouse. Electric Mouse is a software company that helps EV owners charge their vehicles with the greenest and cheapest energy on the grid. So what we're going to speak about today, we're going to talk about what Electric Mouse does, how the tech works, and how it is helping consumers decentralize the energy system. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining today, and welcome to the Greener Tech Podcast. So we are joined here today by Arun, who is the co-founder, Is it just founder? Okay, founder of Electric Mouse. So today, I think the first thing that I want to ask you today is what's your journey that brought you to found Electric Mouse?
Yeah, no, first of all, thank you. Thank you, Sonia, for having me. And it's great to be participating in this podcast. And it's amazing the kind of work you guys been doing, and some of your previous participants all in that sort of green energy space. So yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of the sort of green technology junkie, you might call it. So
Yeah.
my background, I mean, I've kind of worked in energy all my life, and so I really understand how electricity works, transacted, traded, and yeah, when electric vehicles started coming to the fore, when Tesla kind of proved the world that hey, it is possible for cars and vehicles to run on electricity. So that's where I got excited. I'm like, wow, I think this technology I want to get my hands on, and I managed to. At that time, I was a very well-paid consultant, and I still didn't have a lot of money, but I still try to save up and bought like a secondhand Tesla to go and really test this new technology. This is 5 years ago, and wow, I realized. I mean, I was excited when I bought it, and then I realized, wow, this is complex. This is not easy. The whole charging experience, and it's nowhere simple like going to a petrol or tanking up your petrol or diesel car, right? And very, very quickly realized that we are charging, and I was kind of second guessing when is the right time to charge. Is it the right time for the grid, or am I just kicking the can? And then very quickly I realized that if this technology is being really kind of widely accepted or being pushed, like then the news broke about UK pushing it forward by 2030, the ban of petrol and diesel car, and that's it. This is a big enough problem I want to get to really attached to. I quit my job, six-figure salary, crazy thought, and said, you know what, I'm going to roll up my sleeves, and I'll do this. So then I started building kind of a prototype with my car, with my charger at home, and really kind of automated. What I wanted was, as a driver, I don't want to think when to charge, how much to charge. How about technology doing it for me? And so yeah, I brought in some of the data points around my tariff data, around connected my calendar, and really then all I used to do is come home, plug the car in, and the software will decide when to charge. And then I even communicated using some of the open protocol to the charger at home, and it kind of did it for me. And I got up in the morning and my car was charged. I was like, okay, wow. And it was charged at the cheapest time, which as a consumer, I was like, not everybody knows what their cheapest times are. And as we move into more and more dynamic tariff, I think it's going to get harder and harder, and for people to work it out even in the piece of paper. And that's where the computer intelligence comes in. And yeah, fast forward, obviously 3 years, I'm excited where electric miles have reached. We got 4 products in the market. We got over sort of 3,000 drivers using the application. We also got an installer app which helps in commissioning the charger. And yeah, we've been supporting a lot of manufacturers, charger manufacturers, reseller, leasing companies to really roll this out. And but but the key part is how do we manage all this with the grid? And
Mhm.
that's where using my domain expertise, we build some commercial relationship with the grid, and it's about, okay, we can take care of your charging need, but we can also take care of the grid, kind of the peaks, the peak demand of the grid. And if we manage grid constraint with charging, and there you go, you've solved a very, very big problem, but also tapped onto a huge opportunity.
Awesome. So you started this literally in your house.
Yeah, in my garage, actually.
You already had a electric vehicle, I assume, and you were like, this is not working out the way that I wanted to charge in a better way. And then you had already, I assume, also an electric, so like a battery, not a battery, so like a place to like a charger installed at your home. So you developed the software to sort of integrate into the charger. Is
To
that
the
how?
charger. That's right. Yeah. So
And then yeah, go on, yeah.
yeah. No,
Um,
so I think the key part was, there is some open standard available, like, it's called Open Charge Protocol,
yeah.
OCPP, and it's been widely accepted by a lot of charger brands out there. So I saw that was a really good opportunity, that hey, if we can build our tech using some standards which has been widely accepted, then we can really scale this solution to more and more use cases. And that's how we got started. And now obviously we're integrated to over half a dozen charger manufacturers out there.
Okay. And so now in terms of batteries and chargers, are they all meant to be sort of smart? By sort of, is there like a now I guess a law or like a policy? I don't know exactly what the regulations look around in that area, but are they all supposed to be smart chargers, doing sort of similarly to what your software does, finding the when is the right time to charge?
Yeah, you think so, right? But I think the reality is a lot different. Even today, like 60-70% of the chargers are not smart and dumb. It's because there was no regulation. Just recently, as recent as last year, the UK government, I think, took a really bold step towards mandating smart charging and really making it a law that that every charger sold has to be smart. And they define smart, which is being able to charge or not charge at a predefined time by default, which is during the peak time. However, I mean, as a consumer, you can still go in and override it, right? So, like in any regulation, there's always loopholes. So, what we realize is, I mean, sometimes we try to push regulation to the consumer, but reality is like, how do we make it easier for consumer, right? I mean, everybody's busy, and unless it hits their pocket, right? No
Yeah.
consumer is going to make that that effort for the environment or for the greater good. I mean, we all want to, but
Mm.
we won't push ourselves, right? It's just the
Yeah,
reality of how human beings are.
100%.
So, and yes, I think we're not there yet in terms of really penalizing consumers who charge at the wrong time. But in absence of that, what we believe in is simplifying the experience, like really make it simple and make it intuitive. Then the consumer can do that with their kind of click of buttons through our app, and then yeah, they will want to comply. They will want to help the environment. They would want to work for the greater good, but not in expense of making their life difficult, right? So
Mm.
that's what Electric Miles is about simplifying that consumer experience through our app or through our API, so that we all obviously net zero is a big ambition, and we are kind of directly working for that.
So is the key difference, I guess, between a conventional, I would say, smart charger and what the sort of value that you add, um, is it the fact that you also choose the greener supplier of energy? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of greenwashing which happens in the industry, right? Where they say, "Hey, you get 100% renewable energy," but that's not true. I mean, no energy suppliers can really deliver on that. But what we do look at is some sort of grid signal. We look at carbon intensity of the grid to see what is the energy mix during the time you're charging. And there are times on a cold on a winter day, like I mean, like today or this week was fairly cold. I mean, I think the grid was quite highly intense, which means no matter where or how you're charging, you would probably be pulling some sort of fossil fuel from the grid to give you that electricity. So yeah, I mean, there are times though we watch the market where it's very windy in Scotland and there are actually excessive energy, and that's where our focus is going to be this year on really that flexibility, that ability to provide flexibility, that ability to really decentralize energy and allow consumers to kind of really make that informed decision through our application to for the greater good of the society, where they are actually charging when it is green, and even they're sleeping, they're unaware. We'll make that sort of executive decision to go and charge on their behalf, and pass on some of the benefit back to the consumer.
Awesome. So for, I guess, for our audience that might not have, I guess, a technical background, can you explain a little bit how the technology actually works and a bit of the tech behind it?
Yeah, so like I said, we are not here selling cars or chargers, right? We are software, we are hardware agnostic. We built our software using standard open standards which are widely used. And yeah, so from an EV perspective, yeah, if you're an EV driver at home and you got a particular charger, which is an OCPP charger, you can download our app, register, scan that QR code of the charger, and really walk through the process. I mean, at the moment we are still kind of limited. We support some manufacturers, but we are looking to widen our horizon to support more and more chargers. And to that one way our tech work. I mean, the idea is to control and then to execute the schedule. So really turn on and off at the right time, to deliver that right charge at the right time at the right cost to the right asset, both in terms of cost and environment. So the other thing we've been really busy working on is actually talking to your car without the need of the charger. So we built some tech working with the OEMs where, if you're a Tesla, BMW, Jaguar, VW owner, you can pass through your credential and you can connect your particular car to our application, and all the data sits securely in the cloud, and we can then access your car data around what is the battery state real time, so that we know whether you come home with a 10% charge or a 90% charge. We can get you started. But also, what we're excited about that we can actually even remotely turn on and off charging through those car APIs, which means that irrespective of the charger at home, we can deliver you smart charging. Be it you have a VW in Birmingham or a VW in Berlin, uh, or a VW in San Francisco, we can support you. So that's the sort of scalability we are working on this year.
So it can also be like sort of a global sort of scalability that we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow,
And
there's limits to it.
well, there's tech always has limits because regulation, accessibility, and all that, which we're working through. But I think that the idea is not to serve each and every one, right? Is the idea is to make the right impact with our solution, which brings that positive change for the greater good, where we can really demonstrate how with the intuitiveness of our product we can do something meaningful, which obviously helps consumer with the range anxiety. I mean, one of the biggest barrier of EVs is obviously range anxiety, right? People are like, oh, I don't know, will I be able to charge? Will I have enough charge? Will I be stuck on the hard shoulder of the motorway and all of that? So, so I think all that and we are looking to alleviate, but we're also trying to solve some manufacturers' problem, who are box shifting and not thinking of opportunity that lies here commercially. By so we're trying to solve their problem around supportability and around better service uh, to installers, who want to commission it. We're trying to solve their problem of commissioning the charger sort of more accurately or saving them time. But at the moment, uh, the installers used to take 3 4 hours to do one install, and now with our installer miles application, they can be in and out in about 90 minutes. And
Mhm.
so that means they can go and pick up another job as well. So that's the real sort of value proposition we bring in. And finally, to the grid and the whole ecosystem is about bringing them energy assets, aggregating the load, and really making a difference by either reducing the demand by not charging or by increasing the supply by potentially in the future giving back energy from the batteries. uh would that's sort of our real sort of vision and mission.
Awesome. So you mentioned earlier that you're, what do you say, hardware agnostic?
Agnostic.
How come is that?
Yeah, because like I said, as long as the hardware manufacturers have used the standards we operate under, which I think 80-90% of the chargers do, if they are commercially astute, you know, if you want to really sell your hardware in different markets and different geographies, you gotta be you gotta be silly not to use the standards which is out there, right? Which will mean that anybody can access your appliance and take it forward. So what we're really building is this charging nervous system, right? It is kind of where we are able to sit in the middle and really control these assets. And this is where you see ourselves, we rebranded as EM, which is the kind of smart energy management, because what we realize is yeah, this is just a beginning of something really exciting, right? Because EVs are just a lever into the space. Now we got other low carbon technology like batteries and solar, heat pumps, and the next pet project of the grid is to decentralize or kind of electrify the heating network. So this is just the beginning where EV is obviously a major asset. We already do solar charging. So if you've got solar panels on the roof and in EV, we can automate that charging experience to really match solar output, match your charging speed to your solar output, right? So you can say, hey, my charging is free. So be it batteries on the wheel or stationary batteries, your home storage, the principle remains the same, Sonia, right? I mean, what we're trying to do. We're trying to do that turn on and off at the right time and charge it and then aggregate it. The fundamentals remains the same. It's how do we now want to, as part of our vision, really apply this to other energy assets at home, in a home or business in the future.
Absolutely. And how is that policy environment around it? So if you wanted to expand to also other assets around home.
So it's very early days. I mean, we even EVs are we get very excited about, but we still only 3-4% of the total market share. So a lot which is going to happen is in the future, right? And yeah, Paul, I mean, I think the government play a crucial role. I mean, obviously, all this stimulation of the market has happened because the government has committed, not only UK but around the world has committed that hey, we need to save the environment, save the world. We need to ban these dirty polluters on the road, the petrol diesel car, and really kind of transform into this EV revolution. So, however, yes, there's economic downturn and the recession would mean that the government might slow down in the future and say, okay, or go softer on their stance, and all that will definitely make a difference. But I think EVs have reached a little bit of immunity as such, like because the technology and the OEMs have all accepted, even forget about Tesla. I mean, even a Ferrari is now looking to make only electric cars, supercars, which suggests that, I think the stakeholders are managed and all the bigger players are already working towards that. So, but yeah, still regulation is a key part. At the moment, it's in our favor, but tomorrow we don't know.
Absolutely. So, just because earlier you mentioned also, people are motivated by cost only, mainly, and that's either how much they have to pay, how much they save. So, how much does it cost for someone to have your sort of like smart software, I guess,
Well,
installed?
for drivers,
Mhm.
it's free. So hey, if you're an EV driver listening, go and download and see if we can support you, right? So we obviously we are a business, not a charity. So for investors, hey, I know we got a very sort of strong business model where we are kind of B2B to C. We still try to sell the product to the B2B channels like charger manufacturers, resellers, and leasing companies. So there is a cost to go with our software, and it's at a per charger fee. I mean, we are at the moment kind of focused on domestic, but we are now opening and doing stuff in commercial, where there's a per socket fee and then there's a transaction fee. So yeah, we got a very sort of sensible and strong business model. But like I said, the market's so early, and obviously we got to move with how some of the market and the kind of competitors are moving. But yeah, for end drivers, it's free, guys. We will never, at least for the smart application, we'll never envisage charging them. But yes, there could be premium services
Yeah.
which will bring additional value, which where we'll expect drivers to sort of subscribe or pay in-app payment towards that.
Mhm. Absolutely. So it's mainly now at the moment I guess, your main revenue comes from other businesses that manufacture batteries.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So
manufacture the charger basically.
Mhm. Yeah, the charger, sorry.
Yeah.
What's the main challenge then that you found? So you mentioned that the sort of the environment became quite favorable in terms of policy and like the government sort of wanting to switch to move towards this EV revolution. So what have been the main challenges that you face when you sort of set up your business?
Oh, every day is a challenge for any entrepreneur out there, trying to build or scale your company. Hey, it's hats off to you. I mean, it's hard, and it can be lonely. It can be there can be anxiety, but the I think the important part is the belief, right? I think you have to really stay strong to your belief that I really believe we are working, we're giving our blood and sweat to it, that because we really believe in this. So yeah, not every day is going to be rosy, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I think uh, come back to your question around yeah, I mean we sustaining in this difficult climate has been a challenge. So we are obviously still dependent on investment, and this is where yeah, we have obviously raised a few rounds already, secured over 1.2, 1.5 million pounds. And yeah, I think for the next 18 months, we would continue to raise capital on our story and and yeah, give a great investment opportunity to our investors. I mean, I'm personally very close to most of my investors, and I'm obviously uh, indebtful that they participated in this, and yeah, hopefully we are all working hard to make this a success, not only for our investors, for our employees, for our partners, and for our and to UK and other part of the world whom we are serving.
At the moment, you said you're mainly operating in the UK, correct?
Yeah.
So, gathering that you are sort of planning to see, if you can expand globally, are there any challenges that you are foreseeing that you might come across when you try to do that? And also on the other hand, are there, big opportunities that you're thinking, those might be worth like help us expand globally?
Yeah, hey, like I said, we are a software, and the way our software works, we are obviously very global. We're just signing a major customer in France, and
Mm.
that kind of really gives a foot into the EU market, which is very lucrative. We're also part of the Innovate UK program in the US, which uh, which basically gives us some launching pad to go and pilot and test the product, and get sign up some new customer. But I think if you're a UK founder, I think the ecosystem is terrific. I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah,
Uh, there
absolutely.
is so much support. There is so many resources and opportunities. So, but yeah, I mean, as a founder, your job was not to do everything, which every founder, including myself, fell into that trap. It's about being effective and doing there'll always be 10 things to do, but can you do the best five things which really matters most to the business? And if you do that well, then yeah, you'll be okay. So yeah, at the moment, expansion, it can be a distraction as well, because I mean, you also as an early stage business, you want to stay focused. You really want to stay focused to your core and really prove the value offering properly before you really kind of expand out, because what you don't want to do is expand a little bit too early when you're not ready, and that will lead to a lot of time delays, and obviously will create not the right impression. So yeah, we are very treading very carefully which markets we go out. We're doing a lot of internal analysis, and we'll only venture into markets or territory we feel we can make a positive impact, rather than just to box tick for investment reason.
Absolutely. So, in the near future, what is it looking like for Electric Mouse at the moment? What are your next steps?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we got different pathway. Like I said, we are rolling out into commercial charging space. We are obviously growing our portfolio and really making an impact on the grid side. I mean, that's really our moat, kind of really proving out flexibility with the DSO. We're part of the National Grid trial, winter trial, which allows, so we've been kind of communicating to our users to reduce the demand during the peak the peaky days and basically create an opportunity for them to get paid. But really, our rebranding suggests that home sort of whole smart energy management
Mhm.
is really kind of our North Star, and starting with what we've proven and done for EV is how do we go and replicate that with other energy assets at home, and really uh, scale the volume and build defensibility into the business where yeah, it's just harder for anybody to do it themselves. It's about how our technology, again, either through our app or through our API, is how can we really participate and demonstrate smart charging to different energy assets, and then smart aggregate them into the load, and then be in a situation to discharge energy to avoid peak at home, so that then we venture into that whole decentralized territory where you can be self-sufficient. Instead of using the grid power in peak time, can you use your EV power or EV load to kind of supply your home, and then eventually be set up for like vehicle to grid and smart cell, which is selling any excess capacity back to the grid, and not only creating money for or revenue for the driver, but also really helping the grid stay less constrained.
That's very interesting. So is that potentially the part about selling back to basically the grid? Is that something that potentially people could be doing? Say I have a some solar panels and I'm producing my own energy. Is that also part of what you could potentially do when
Yeah,
it comes to selling back?
absolutely. I mean, at the moment, people who have solar panels in your audience, they'll agree that they're not getting real value for their offering. I think the feed-in, what do you call it, a feed-in tariff, which is if you obviously during daytime you're not consuming that much, so, so you're generating whatever generation, if you don't get used at home, get exported back to the grid. But I think you're getting paid like peanuts,
Mhm.
which so instead of doing that, is how about you use that energy to charge your car, which means there is a value there, right? Instead of charging at a more expensive time. And uh, also it's about charging your car battery or your home storage battery at the cheaper time overnight through our application, and then during the more expensive time during daytime, instead of pulling energy from the grid, you either use the battery to use your home, or battery to then charge your car, or your home battery to obviously serve your EV battery to basically run your washing machine or lights, and those sort of decentralized where energy is locally matched and managed. You reduce a lot of losses. I think if you look at the stats, uh, 30% of energy we generate, like solar panels or storage sort of heat pumps, we actually can avoid that, which means we if we use it locally, then you're saving 30% on losses, which nobody benefits.
Mhm. That's interesting how I guess a source of energy or like yeah, the generation of energy that is green and is meant to be more efficient is actually not all that efficient. So yeah, I think it's very fascinating the work that you're doing in trying to save that energy, that it's even if it's green, it maybe doesn't necessarily impact the environment to a certain level. It's still, it's still waste. It's still something that we're losing out on. So yeah, I think it's very fascinating. I think, I like the sort of this ending. So like this last question, and I wanted to, ask you, if there's anything else that you would like to add, sort of before we end the episode today. Is there anything else there you want to sort of like tell to our audience? Yeah, just anything really that you would like to add.
Yeah, sure. I think what I think we all are going through a massive transformation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and and yeah, this is it's very exciting to be part of this industry, but it can be daunting as well for people who do not understand this. And that's where our job as technologists and as solution providers is to really kind of take care of that, right? But I think the energy use and consumption is evolving, right? People are we are paying very high cost of energy today because of obviously what's happening in the micro and macroeconomics with the war, Russian war, and everything, which is outside your control. Which so like us, I mean, I hope this war ends, but hey, there's no guarantee there wouldn't be any future such incident. I mean, I think we are entering into more and more volatile territory, right? Which means the chances of such incidents are higher rather than less. So I think this is the time to really kind of get self-sufficient, the whole decentralize of energy. It's about, hey, me, my consumption, my family consumption. If I can invest in these low carbon technology, I think solar is now seeing a real boom. Uh, and more people are now getting solar fitted. I mean, I think there was a survey done where every 3 out of 5 driver is thinking very hard. It's not about EV. It's not about will they buy EV. It's when will they buy EV, right?
Yeah.
And with solar and EV, and then I think battery technologies is getting more and more modern and cheaper as well. So we are entering into an age where it, maybe in 5 years' time, it will be very normal for you to have solar panel, EV, and a battery. And then it's how do you interact with these technology and this is where electric miles comes in, right? It's about we want to be that intelligence, that controller which controls these energy assets and turns on and off at the right time, which works for you as a homeowner, as a car driver, as a mom who wants to drop the kids at a certain time, and all of that. It's about be that sort of Alexa for your energy use, right? That personalized service. That hey, this is a
Love
time.
that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Love
Yeah,
that analogy.
yeah, absolutely, and that's really sort of our vision. And again, and we I mean, I think the complexity is in the how, obviously, how we're going to get there. And we all are figuring that out. I'll be lying if I say we have figured it all out. I think the vision is clear that, we want to be that central player which manages all these energy assets, be it batteries on the wheel or batteries stationary or solar or heat pumps. It's about making that right decision to put the right charge in at the right time at the right cost to the right asset. And yeah, we are electric miles here for here kind of smart energy management player.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think that's a great positive note to end the episode on. So yeah, I would like to thank you so much for your time today. And yeah, hope you did enjoy being here, although virtually. So maybe some point we'll be able to do an in-person one. I think that would be great.
No,
So
no,
see,
absolutely.
catch up in a few months' time and see what electric miles are doing, how the rebranding is looking like. Yeah, and yeah, that's it
Absolutely. No,
really.
thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you
much.
again, Sonia, for inviting me. And yeah, I'm delighted. And yeah, have a great day. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.